All right, welcome to our gnome lesson. I'm going to teach you today how to make these gnomes. They're super cute little gnomes. This guy's about 4 inches tall. You see that he's got a cap on and a hole at the bottom. Your initials and period at the bottom. We're going to start with a piece of clay, and really the clay depends on the size body that you want for your gnome. So just choose the piece of clay according to the size you want. We're going to start the body by rolling a ball. Okay, then set it on your table, and you're going to roll a coil, but you're going to put more pressure on one side. So really what you're doing is you're rolling a cone. Stand it up occasionally and tap it on the bottom because you want a flat base. You want to make sure that your gnome stands nice and tall and balanced. Okay? Of course, you would do any smoothing necessary. Once you have the body, you're going to cut the top because you also need a flat top. So now I have a cone with a flat base and a flat top. The next part for the gnome construction is the beard. So I'm going to take another piece of clay, roll it into a ball, and then flatten it. I can use my roller to roll it nice and flat, and you don't want it too thick. You want it nice and thin. It's just a beard. It's not a cape, right? So there we go. I'm going to use my metal rib. Vamos a alisar este pedacito hacia la barba. And the beard can be any size or shape that you want. Also proportionate to the gnome size. So you see that sometimes the beard comes on to the bottom of the body, and sometimes the beard does not. Sometimes the beard is round. Sometimes the beard comes down to a point. It really just depends on what you want. I'm going to take this flat piece and I'm going to draw. First I'm going to set my gnome kind of here so that I know what size I want my beard. And I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the beard out. This is going to be a nice long beard that comes down to his feet, I think. When you cut it out, you can just cut out from the extra, and there's your beard. Estamos cortando la barba. Se alisa un poquito los orillas. Smooth out your edges just a little bit. You can use some water if it makes it easier, but don't use a ton of water right now. We can smooth this out a little bit later. Go ahead and test the size of the beard onto your gnome first before you do anything else. I think that's pretty good for my guy. You want this beard to come all the way up to the top. All the way up to the top. So now that I know the size beard is good, I'm going to score it. Score with my needle tool, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to the back, tap, 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 and I'm just going to lay it on the body so I get an impression and I know where to score the body. So puse la barba, después que la rayé, le mojé un poquito, la puse en el cuerpo porque deja una impresión y ya entonces sé dónde rayar el cuerpo. A little bit of water, and now I will attach the beard, and again go all the way to the top. Tiene que empezar arriba, al puro principio aquí, arriba, and gently tap it down. Tap the center. You're taking the air bubbles out and making sure that it's got full connection. Asegúrese que está bien conectado y que le ha sacado todas las bombitas de aire y la agua. Once you've done that, I'm going to go ahead and take this, and you see how this is open? I'm going to seal it by just running this little edge of my tool, of my wooden tool, on the edges. There we go. That will make sure that no air is going to get in there, and it won't pop off in the fire. If any air can get in there, you run the risk of it popping off in the fire. You can do that with your tool, or you can do it with your finger. Once the beard is in place, it's time for a nose. Ahora la nariz. A little tiny piece of clay, just a little bit like this, is going to make your nose. Roll it into a ball, una bolita primero. Set it on your table. Se pone en la mesa y se empieza a rollar. Ponga el dedo sobre medio de la bolita. You're going to put your finger over only half of the little ball that you just rolled, and you're rolling, and see, you're starting to make a little cone. A little cone. Make sure the nose part is nice and round. Asegúrese que la nariz, la parte que va a ser la nariz, está bien redondita. And now I'm going to attach. So this gets attached just like that on the top, and drags down. Push it down. Boom. Okay, push it down. If you're doing this in 2 different days, you can score. You're going to need to score this onto the top, but I'm doing it all in one day, so I'm just going to go ahead and lay it on without scoring or slipping, because my clay is all the same kind of moisture level. So this is what we got right now. Here's the top view, here's the side view. See how it's sagging down? Se empuja un poquito para abajo. Now we have a nose and a beard. Smooth out any imperfections, and now we're going for shoes. No, we're going to do the hat next, sorry. The hat is going to be also a little ball of clay. We're going to roll a little ball, and it doesn't have to be huge, but again, it depends on the size hat that you want. So this is definitely smaller than the body of the gnome, definitely smaller. And I'm going to lay it down, and again, I'm going to put pressure on just part of this so that I'm making another cone. Except this time, I'm going to tap, tap, tap the base pretty firmly so I get a nice wide base. Esto es para alisar o aplastar la parte de abajo y también hacerlo más ancho. Tap, 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 widening it out. And I'm going to make the top little part of the cap pretty skinny because I'm going to want it to spiral out a little bit. So there we go. That's what it looks like. Now I'm going to open it up. Needle tool into the center. Abrir. Lo vamos a abrir un poquito. No muy hondo. Don't go too deep, you guys. Just kind of go around more than deep. And then start pinching it open. Pinching it open. If it's deep, then the cap won't make contact with the gnome's head and it won't stick on well. Si hace el hoyo aquí muy hondo, no va a tocar la parte de la nariz del duende y no se va a pegar bien. So I'm just opening it up and I'm testing how big it is. Testing. I'm almost there. So I'm going to go ahead and score, and I'm scoring the inside of the rim, not the rim itself. Quiere rayar adentro de esta orilla, no la orilla. So score the inside of the rim, and I'm scoring the top of the gnome and a little bit on the sides. Okay, so you see it's all the side, top side, even a little bit of the top of the beard. Little water on this cap, and now I'm going to attach. When you attach, take your fingers and push, wait, let me get it on there right, yeah, and push down on both sides of the nose. See how it's closing it up? Quiere cerrar a los dos lados de la nariz, así, para que quede bien cerrado, and make sure you tap down all the way around the cap, y al todo la parte de atrás también. Now you can twist however you want to shape your cap. There's the cap. I have a little score line here I'm just going to get rid of. Okay, there's your gnome. We need little feet. The feet are simple. Look how cute he is. The feet are simple. They're a little coil that you make. You want to try and get this coil even in thickness because these feet want to be the same. They're shoes, actually. They're not feet. They want to be the same size. So once you get them and you've rounded out the edges, esta bobina quiere ser igual de grueso porque van a ser los zapatos con las orillas redondas. Take your needle tool and cut. Set it next to the other part. Okay, cortar igual en tamaño. Y ahora ponemos el dedo un poquito en los dos lados. So push your finger down, and this is going to make the spot that we're going to score. Lift them back up. Esta parte, entonces, vamos a rayar. So that little flat part that you just pushed your finger into is where you're going to score to attach to this gnome. Go ahead and pick your gnome up. Before you put the feet on, take your needle tool, hold your gnome carefully like this in your hand. Sostenga el duende boca abajo y vamos a abrirle un poco de adentro. So this won't go all the way in, but you want to wiggle the needle tool around so it makes a nice opening. Now the feet. Or the shoes rather, sorry, get attached. I set them down on the table and push down, and sometimes it's a little hard getting the feet or the shoes back off the table. This on the bottom of the shoes gets smooth. Los zapatos se tienen que alisar para conectarlo bien. So you're smoothing. This is where you put your initials and your period, iniciales y periodo aquí abajo. And then the beard, you just are going to start drawing lines for the beard. And that, ladies and gentlemen, right there is your cute little gnome. The only other thing is I usually like to decorate the hat, so it's easy enough to use your needle tool end to make circles, which looks really cute and it's super easy. If you have any kind of cookie cutter, like I've got these little tiny cookie cutters that I often use on my gnomes, you can use that. If you want to make a different kind of design using the tip of your pencil, you can do that. Whatever you want to do, you can draw flowers, you can draw stars. Make sure you go all the way around. And that's it. That is your gnome. Ta-da! Gnome Mania.